Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the JMAT podcast. This is episode 7. I still can't believe we're on episode 7. It feels like we've been doing it for not that long at all. As always, I'm joined by Matt.
Hello, guys. Hello.
I think this is going to be a bit of a funny episode. As always, we have a little chat before we start recording, and it's been quite funny. So sometimes you know when you start talking and you wish you'd press record. I mean, probably for our guest, he's thankful we didn't. But today we are joined by a lovely young man. His name is SPRINGPEAK. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
So we've known each other for a few months now. We met in the RP world.
We did.
Matt, I think you've met him a couple of times. We've played Tarkov together.
Yeah.
What if you met someone for the first time? What would you sort of say to them that you do?
It depends on what environment, obviously. If I don't know, right? So, what I do for a living, as in like my profession, is I'm a CNC machinist, and I work for the Alpine Formula One team. So that usually sparks a lot of interest very quickly, especially if they're into motorsport. That usual 2-minute, I'm just going to go and say hello to that guy that's just turned up to this family party, to an hour-long conversation about Formula One, which usually happens. And then, you know, I'd usually say that, you know, I like to think I have 2 jobs, although content creation for me it's a job for me. I treat it like a job. You know, I have a set schedule and I plan things and I work really hard on it. But, you know, I say, like, you know, to do content creation, I make YouTube videos, and I do a lot of live streaming on a platform called Twitch, where, you know, people come and be part of a community. And I'd usually start it that way rather than people come to watch me play games, because then they go, not interested. Like, what do you mean they watch you play games? That's stupid.
We were talking about that last week.
Yeah.
And it is, if you don't know what it is, you won't understand it.
Yeah, my parents don't get it.
I think it is a generation thing, because
I mean, my parents are only in their 40s and they don't get it. Like,
so are mine.
Very odd.
So I can't remember how old you are, but I'm 24. I'm 25 next month.
I'm 25.
I was right. So we were basically the last generation that went from having no phones and being home when the streetlights came on, to having watches to go home, to having phones. You know, like Nokia
100%.
3310 and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, my first phone wasn't even a picture phone. Like,
my first phone was the Motorola Razr. Remember the flippy phone? It was silver.
Had the Razr. That was my second or third phone. I had what was it? It wasn't the Pebble, but there was one before it. It was
I know exactly what one you're on
Sony
about.
Ericsson, but it looked like a Pebble, but it wasn't as good as a Pebble. It's like the Sony Ericsson's knockoff Pebble.
Yeah, no,
like,
I can't remember what it was called.
Phone. But I had a lot of Sony Ericssons because I like the music features on it, and the fact that you could
see Matt's sort of like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, you used to be able to infrared somebody a picture.
I was about to say.
It was 25 minutes and you couldn't move more than an inch away from them. It was kind of awkward.
Yeah. And you used to put them like, so...
face to face.
Yeah. So one end top end would be next to each other.
Legit.
But like...
You'd have to sit there like this.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
You'd have it on the
It'd be like...
You'd be like, I think it's almost done. But no, it's not.
Literally.
I moved too far away. Shit. Like...
Do you know? See, I remember my first phone. I didn't. So my Razr, I never knew actually how to infrared video, or Bluetooth.
The Razr had it. It had Bluetooth.
No,
it was one of the.
But I could never figure out how to work it. So if a song came on the radio, I had to quickly pull my phone out, record it, and then like try and make no noise. And then, like, someone would make a noise, and then it would fucking ruin it, and then I have to wait until that song played on the radio again.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to do it with Mum's.
We had it tough, man.
Yeah.
I did have a Nokia though. I was very young. I used to play Snake on it.
Oh,
and...
okay.
Yeah, but the Nokia for you was a games console, right? To play Snake.
Yeah. But I remember I had it for like 2 weeks, and then my mum put it in the washing machine by accident. I got really sad because I had like Snake on it. I had this really cool background of World at War, Call of Duty World at War. And like one of my mates like,
right?
no. Yeah, it's not,
2012 Nokia.
Mate, I was on a BlackBerry at that stage. A BlackBerry Bold.
Yeah, I remember my mates used to like Bluetooth me all the songs, and then it went in the wash and it didn't survive. But I thought it was, Nokia's could stand anything.
Yeah, but if you had
Like
a
you could throw them at a
3310,
wall.
you could literally throw that out of a plane. It'd be fine.
Spring. Do you remember either in magazines or when you used to watch music channels? You know, when they used to play music videos.
Yeah.
You could like text in like your pictures and stuff.
You could text in your pictures, and you could also text in, and it'd cost you like £4, and you could get a ringtone.
Yeah,
which is a clip of the song. Like it used to be on like MTV.
Yeah,
and you
it was like
can I do
it was loads of money, and then you'd like text in for it to get this ringtone, and it would be like the shortest ringtone ever.
And then like Napster and LimeWire came out, and we had access to literally everything, and it was all pirated.
Yeah. Oh, mate. So I'm just reminiscing when times were easier. So you spoke about your actual job. I do want to go on to that a little bit later, but first I'd quite like to talk about your like content creation and things like that. So obviously we do a little bit of research. I haven't done a great deal, but you used to stream on Facebook before Twitch. Is that right?
I did. Yeah.
So when did you start actually streaming?
So I believe I started streaming about October. Not the one just gone, the one before. I think it was about then.
Okay.
And I was there on Facebook until around May or June.
What made you switch?
Facebook has a lot of potential as a platform, but it lacks a lot of stuff. So I wanted to do more community involvement stuff. And there was no integrations for Facebook at all. Like there was nothing. You couldn't even get a chat bot in the Level Up program, which is Facebook's equivalent of affiliate, right?
Yeah.
And monetization was stupidly hard because yes, I could receive stars, which were Facebook's bits. You could get those, but you were solely relying on somebody finding your stream in their newsfeed or whatever, and the algorithm would push you out. So there's a good algorithm for discoverability on Facebook, but monetization, community involvement and integrations and stuff wasn't there. It'd break all the time. The chat, and it still does it now for partnered streamers, and the chat breaks, and you're like, they're a partnered streamer with 7,000 viewers and their chat's broken. Like, come on. Like, you need to get on top of this. Like, yes, okay, you can stream at a higher bit rate, but all Facebook does, if you watch a Facebook stream, 9 times out of 10, I know like other creators, like friends of mine, that stream on both platforms at different times. And I'll go and watch their Facebook stream and it's buffering. And I'm like, I know he's got good internet. Like, I know he's got good internet. So why is this buffering? Like, it's at 720p. And it's still buffering. Yeah. And it's not my internet. I've got a gig up and down. Like, it's not my end.
See, I think
Facebook. So that's why I moved to Twitch. I didn't like Twitch originally. I was like, oh, TTV. If you can't beat him, join him. Here I am.
And now he gets people coming into his stream after he's clapped their cheeks on Tarkov. Or he gets someone coming into his stream after they've killed me and said, oh, I felt really bad for killing him. He was only at level 8. And we're like,
we did say.
I literally told you that I was level 8.
Yeah, he was in a bush crying with a pistol in his hand, 4 broken limbs, saying, help me, I'm level 3. And it actually got to the point where you told him, just come and kill me, bro. Like, you gave up completely.
Right, so he destroyed me, and I said, look, I'm level 3, you've killed my friend, and he's trying to like help me around. I've obviously played this game before, but you know what? I was genuinely level 3.
Milk it, baby.
And he goes, oh, well, you better run then. I said, bro, I'm not fucking running anywhere. These legs are proper fucked.
They're done.
They are done.
You had no heals to fix this thing. You were just Yeah,
Literally.
you were an injured sheep at that point.
All I had was a pistol in my hand. I was sat in a bush, and I was saying to Spring, I was like, I'll either push this guy and hope that I kill him, or I just let him finish me. And he was like, well, you better figure out how you're going to get out of here, otherwise I'm going to shoot you. I was like, and at that point, I was like, do you know what, mate? I don't even care. Just come around and shoot me. And he did. And then he went into Spring's stream and started like saying how I felt bad.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm really trying to picture this.
Oh no, was I live?
Yeah, you were.
I'll find it for you and I'll get it to you, Matt. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I think I had.
Yeah, because Matt
I
can
think
put
I
it
had
in
Gibbo
the
up on
video.
my- yeah.
Oh,
I think I
yeah.
had Matt up on my screen. Sorry, I think I had Gibbo up on the screen. So Matt, I'll try and sort that out.
Yeah, that confused me then. I was like, but it was me. It wasn't Matt.
Yeah, Matt was sitting next to me watching you get shat on. Yeah.
Matt was the one that was shitting on me.
Well, you never know. I'm pretty new to the game.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is I feel like Facebook have seen an opening in for a market.
Oh yeah.
But they've just rushed it a little bit because Twitch are so on top.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would rather watch a YouTube live stream than a Facebook one.
Interesting.
And
I can't
YouTube
stand
has
YouTube
even
live
less
streams.
integrations. Like, Facebook's getting it now, but like when I was on Facebook, you couldn't even get subs. But they were called supporters on Facebook, right? So
Yeah.
I think there was no real requirement. You know how in your Twitch dashboard, right? You've got this is what you need to get affiliate. Your 3 average viewers. You need to stream for 25 hours with
50 followers,
days,
isn't it?
or
Something
7
like that?
days, and have 50 followers, right? Well, level up is get 100 followers. That's it. So I got level up in like 2 months from never streaming before because I was just getting 100 followers, and I actually got it on Boxing Day of 2020. It was a really weird day because my granddad passed that morning, and then I get the email from Facebook to say I got level up, and my brain was like, I don't know what
the fuck.
Yeah.
So I actually saw the video of that because you posted a video saying,
Yes, I did, yeah.
you know, it was really tough. I didn't want to bring it up, but as you've
no.
done it, you it was a really, I'm not laughing, but it was really strange because it was sort of like, yeah, it's been a really, tough Christmas for us because, my granddad's passed away, but I've hit 100 followers, so that's put a smile on my face.
Like, baby, let's go.
See you later, granddad.
It was more like we had a really crap time, and like
yeah,
and as I'm sure we're probably going to go through quite a lot of it, but getting to level up was the first thing where I'd gone, this might actually work. Like we've had like me and my partner, we've always been really close, and we've stuck together through thick and thin, and we've had some real tough moments, not as in a relationship like thing, but more just events that's happened to us. Like, we'd have so many things that really put us to the test, and I mean, she carried me through basically all of it, like some baby wrapped in a blanket. But like, but that was like, oh shit, this is legit. Like, I've achieved something that I didn't think I was gonna get. 100 followers is a lot. I don't even think I even have 100 followers on Twitter now. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were about to say I didn't even know I had 100 friends, and I was gonna say,
I did. I had like 200 friends on Facebook, but they're just people I've have bumped into in the last 20 years. Like,
See, that's what I find crazy. Like, I'm not disrespecting any of my friends or anything like that, and that's what I'm saying. But you start streaming, for example, all of a sudden, this hasn't happened to me, but all of a sudden, some random person will come into your stream and then just literally throw money at you. You've never met this person.
I legit have had that.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's mad.
Yeah, and so
please tell the story.
This guy, I can't remember his name. Is it I think it was Michael. He very rarely pops into Twitch now, but he was like, from a monetary standpoint, he was my biggest Facebook supporter, like massively, because you did actually had TTS, I believe, on Facebook. It's about the only integration we had, right? An alert, which everybody had, and TTS. So he loved TTS, but I was just like, oh, I really need a new CPU. Like, I'm struggling to give you the quality that I want to give you. There's so much more that I want to do, but I need to get the CPU, and it's not cheap. It's like good few £100, and then basically, was it CPU? It might have been RAM or something. I can't remember. It was a component, and he basically donated 70 to 80% of the money for that in dribs and drabs over time. Like, and that was, yeah. Oh my god, this is incredible! Like,
Yeah.
this guy. So I played a couple of I was playing Contract Wars. Well, not Contract Wars. It was the one they did after that, the one that Battlestate's sister company made. So I was playing that, and we played a bit of that together, and I was like, appreciate it. He does pop into Twitch every now and again, but Twitch isn't his platform, so he's actually a valued, because I used to talk to him a lot in my stream. Like when I had 3 viewers, and he was the only one talking, so I got to know him really well. So I do miss members of my community that didn't come over, but
I do miss sending money. I'll be honest.
well, no, because he chatted all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And the fact that he then, because we chatted and because I realized, hang on a minute, I'm building a community here, and because he valued that as well, he obviously felt that he wanted to support me, and then the stars came through. So engagement's really important.
It's quite difficult as well because we've said it many times. I don't want to go into it too much, but you expect it all to happen after a couple of streams, and it doesn't.
I said if I couldn't do it in 6 months, I'd stop. 2 years later, if I can't make this a legit thing that looks like it's going somewhere in 6 months, then I'll give it an extra 6 months. If it's trickling, and give it that extra 6 months and see what I can do with that. But what I did was I created an unrealistic expectation for myself, where I was chasing a perfection level that wasn't achievable.
Yeah.
I was looking to be at 100 to 200 concurrent viewers within 12 months of starting to stream. And it's not realistic. Like I don't even have a third of that now. Like, come on.
We were talking about this the other night, Spring. We both watch the Friendly Guy, who's a Tarkov streamer, and he literally started. Did he say started about a year ago?
No, he's done a good few wipes on Tarkov, but he started the whole
streaming. I mean,
the pacifist stuff. He started about a year ago, but he went full time November, I think, last year. So,
and I said to you, it annoys me because I, without meaning to, I look at other people and and think, well, they've been doing it the same amount of time as me. How the hell are they partnered, or how are they doing it full time? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you could do. And I said to you, and you literally said, this is what you need to try before, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to give people advice, but maybe I should start taking
I'm exactly
my own.
the same. I have spent thousands of hours learning stuff, and that was to teach me. I've never had an editing course on video or graphical stuff. I've never done anything like that. So building computers, I taught myself how to build computers. I taught myself how to work out audio. I did all this for me, so that I could learn it, experience it, practice it, and then pass it on. And that's my biggest thing, is that I've got a section in my Discord where if you're a streamer, you open a ticket to get that that locked area. You get the locked area, and if you need help, you can open a ticket, and me or one of my other mods will do our best to give you the best help we can, because what's the point in me keeping it all to myself?
Yeah,
we're all here doing it together.
100%. We all have the same goal at the end of the day.
I'd rather have 10 chatty viewers and good quality content than have mediocre content, 70,000 viewers that don't talk. But they only talk because they're engaged, and they only get engaged because your quality is good, and that you want to be there for the community, not for the money.
100%. It's all trial and error as well.
100%.
Yeah, Matt, how have you found it? Because you sort of stream on and off.
Yeah.
I know you've started streaming recently with, was it Elden? I don't know what.
Elden Ring, yeah. It's something I've really enjoyed too, because it's something where the chat can be really involved with it too. and I love games like that. It's like Tarkov too. It's like you can chat a lot, and everyone can sort of be part of the game. And I think games like that, they always do so much better for streaming, because it's just it's more enjoyable, I think, as a viewer would see it, because they feel like they're really being part of it. And that's why I love Elden Ring. It's really, really good, because I mean, you guys know about Elden Ring, don't you? And I'm sure
I've seen bits.
most
I've not
people
played it,
listening.
and I've not watched a lot of content.
I'm
but
the same.
I'm aware of it.
Yeah, I know what
But
it
it's
is.
It's a Dark Souls game, but it's like open world, and you just pick a character and stuff, and then you're dropped into this world, and you don't really get an objective or anywhere you have to go. You just learn everything as you go.
So it's not like a playthrough. It's more
no.
Right, got
Yeah,
it. It's more story based. It's completely player driven.
Yeah. And there's so many different endings, and you could try and take on like one of the hardest bosses at the beginning of the game. And it's so funny. You just have to wander around. Like you're like this little naked guy like running around, and you see this giant thing. You're like, ooga booga, ooga booga.
I came here for a fucking.
I was waiting for you to do that. I was literally about to. It's so weird. I feel like we are telekinetically talking to each other, because in my head I was about to say, and Spring would go up to him like, "I've come here for a fucking
shootout, right?
Let's talk about this actually. While we're talking about this, right? Apparently, you do very good impressions.
I've done a few, yeah.
Oh, here we go. No, he's backpedaling now. I've done a few.
I can't do everything. I enjoy doing it. I mess around with the kids, and I've always done it since when I was younger. And it's not like a passion or a career. I do it by accident, and it highly irritates anybody around me, because once it sticks, it fucking sticks.
Do you find yourself
as Ronnie Cray?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you find yourself you'll do it, and then all of a sudden you're sort of like, oh, I've got to go pick the kids up. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm not Ronnie Cray anymore.
I've got to go out and pick up the kids. Yeah, it's a bit it happens. I spent a day in the worst Irish accent in the world, just because I was messing around with it in the morning. It stuck, and it might have even been longer than a day, and I had this really bad Irish accent.
So, for some reason, at the minute, when I'm at work, I'll be driving along, and all of a sudden, in my head, it will just appear, and I have to say it. All of a sudden, I'll just go, "Who's Irish dad?" I don't know why. Every time, I'll just be driving along, mind my own business, and I'll look at us, and I'll see a sheep or something, and I'm just like, "Who's Horace's dad?" It's so annoying.
This kind of thing, so I had an 8-week hiatus, right? When I moved house, I had no internet. It was a great opportunity to just get away from technology. I mean, I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't network. I didn't watch streams.
Didn't even talk to his family. Just sat in the corner.
With my family in that 8 weeks than I had done in the year before, because I buried my head in content creation. I was in the office for 16 hours a day. You know, watching YouTube videos, learning how to do stuff, trying to edit stuff, networking with people, streaming, and it was just like I never had any time. Right. And I said to myself, I need to find my niche. Everyone talks about this niche, right? Oh, I see. What you need to do to be popular on Twitch and, get better as being a content creator is you need to find your niche. It's like, just go out and fucking find it. Go to the shops, right? It's in the middle of Lidl. And it's not. It really isn't.
Aisle 7.
Sorry, I couldn't see it on your shelf. Have you got any out back that you could give me?
Have you got any custom niches? I need one for a Twitch channel.
For some reason, I thought you said, have you got any custard niches? I was going to say, that's a good one.
Right? If you down a shot of custard every time you get a kill in Apex, that's a niche. Nobody else.
I'm not gonna lie, I might actually do that. Every time I get killed on Tarkov, I just chug a custard.
Yeah, you're gonna be a tubby boy by the end of the night.
Already there, baby.
And this niche thing, I was like, I need to find a niche. Problem is, you can get stuck in trying to find your niche so bad, you never find it because you spend so long looking around for it. You don't actually know what a niche is. You forget.
You need to you need to almost fall into it and go, fuck me, yeah.
So
That
this
works.
I said when I come back, I'm coming back stronger than ever. More YouTube videos, working closely with my editor. I want my moderators to be doing a little bit more and taking some of the pressure off. And I want to give incentives to them and give back to them. So we do like mod of the month. Mod that performs the best, is in chat the most, does the most work, gets a £10 Amazon gift card at the end of the month. It's not a lot. It's all I can do. And things like that. And I was like, that's all great for the community stuff and for my team. But I need to do something to pull the people in for them to moderate something, because no point having 5 fucking mods sitting there and they're just moderating each other. So and then this whole accent
Just
stuff,
timing each other out.
exactly. So I, which is a pain in the ass, by the way. Don't time out your mods for a joke, because it unmods them and you have to re-mod.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that.
So I've got channel point redemption where you can time somebody out for 5 minutes. So the first person that did that actually did it to my partner Liz, right? Problem is, then she's like, Liz, can you do us a favor and just ban that person, like one of those follow me or buy followers here kind of crap.
Yeah. Do you want to be famous?
Like, I can't. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't? Like, it's really, like, she's new to Twitch as well, so I'm trying to teach her through the stream. And she's doing well trying to pick it up. But she's like, I can't. And it's like, I'm gonna come and have a look. And I go in there and I'm like, oh wait, you've lost your sword. Like, you're not a mod anymore. So the timeout, don't time out your mods, because
he then sends his other half to the stone to pull the sword back out.
It's like
to the stone you shall return.
Sorry. So now, if you try and ban a mod, then you get banned for it. So, so the niche for me has now become the accent stuff. I thought, hang on a minute, this is in the last couple of weeks since we've been talking. I've started to do it more and more. I felt more comfortable doing it in front of people. That's another thing.
So I'm laughing because it's usually about 11 o'clock at night. We'll just start saying
it
quotes
stop.
from
Movies,
films, and
just
then Spring will
movies
just do the impression.
randomly come out with some random. It's brilliant.
Tends to be from Legend or Peaky
Legend
Blinders.
Yeah, like fucking Solomon or something like that. And so yeah, but I've allowed that to become part of my content rather than hiding that away. The weird guy that I am that people don't see. I was like, you fucking, that's your niche, dickhead. Wait, come back. That's your niche. Like,
where are you going? Come back.
That's a niche. And
why are you running?
Exactly that. And I'm just like, you've done this your whole life, and you've been looking for this niche. So far, it's literally under your nose, pouring out of your mouth anytime you're not live.
So if I'm honest, I haven't known you for a long time.
No, it's been about 6 months or something.
Yes, about that. So I remember like talking to you the first time I met you. I thought you were quite sort of reserved, well, not reserved as such, but you held back a little bit. But now that we sort of play Tarkov more, I feel like I actually know the sort of person you are, and I think that's why we get on so well, because we're both just strange.
Yeah, we're very similar in many ways. But when we met, I was learning how to roleplay. I was one of those people that took the piss out of people that thought they were a plastic copper in a video game. I'm like, bro, there's pixels. You're not a real copper, right? You work in Greg's.
Not that there's a problem with that.
No, there's a big difference between being a chief inspector of a police department and being a shit hot baker. You know what I mean? Like,
GRX.
Yeah, I had to learn how to role play and how to enjoy it and create content out of it. Which is why my character was called Spring, because I didn't know who to be, so I just tried to be myself. And the more confident I got with roleplay, the more confident I got with the people around me within the city. And I made some alright content, and things went a bit south, and I didn't enjoy it anymore, and I couldn't make content in that city anymore, and I dropped out and went back to what I knew best, which was taking on heads and playing Tarkov.
Getting a plane to Turkey.
Exactly. I'm flying out to Russia. We used to stay in cities.
I was going to say, we get a plane to Russia, and I thought, currently what's going on, that's probably the worst thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
But you said it, so I guess it's fine. It doesn't matter.
I used to, so there was a Dinny in the city.
Whose horse is that?
Quite literally. Excuse me, lad.
Then he's Irish, by the way.
Yeah, he's Irish, and
I don't have Tourette's or anything.
excuse me there, fellas. Whose car is that? And I'm like, but I played Tarkov with him once, and then trying to talk about it in City because I hadn't done anything else, and City was boring at that point. I was like, oh, so I met up with Diddy in that place, but I couldn't, say Tarkov.
That's how we used to talk about it, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
100%.
you used to be like, oh, have you been to Russia recently? Which obviously means have you played Tarkov?
Yeah, because
and then that's how we started playing, because we started playing labs for a joke. And then I kept getting clapped while you were running around with a pistol just killing raiders.
There is an amazing clip of that. Clips by yourself.
By me. Because I was fuming and
I
I was dead.
A really good clip.
I was dead, so I was like, I'm pretty sure I muted myself and was like, nah, fuck this game. And then I was like, but I kind of want to watch. So
Streaming stops you from doing that. Although I've done it a few times recently. Because I'm like, I shot him 4 times in the fucking face. Die! He just turns around, one taps me with a marshmallow. I'm like, great.
Literally, a bit like that scav that I was shooting, and I still got killed. And you were like, you're dead? I was like, yep. He was like, how is he not dead? I was like, I don't even know. And I literally went, fuck this game. And then straight back into a raid we went.
Tarkov does that too.
Yeah, so pretty much. So you spoke about your family, your other half.
Yeah.
How did you two meet?
School. So I've known Lizzie since I was 11.
11?
Yeah.
That's a long time, isn't it?
It is considered I'm 25 now. She's 26.
So how long have you officially been together?
So we've officially been together since June of 2012.
Wow.
So a year before.
You're 11.
Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah. We've been close friends for a while before that.
Close friends, he says.
Well, yeah, we had been like
close.
She was my confidant, right? She used to give me like relationship advice. I didn't know that she fancied the pants off of me.
Oh,
right? But what I didn't want her to know is I was going to her for advice because I wanted to get closer to her because I fancied her. So this thing happened for like 6 months. I thought, right, I'm gonna stop
shoot your shot,
smoking green, and I'm gonna you know what I mean? I'm gonna clean myself up, stop doing things I shouldn't be doing, stop being a knob, stop sleeping around, and I'm gonna put sole focus into bettering myself to impress her. And I did. And one night I just was like, by the way, I really like you, and I have done for a long time. And she was like, okay, I really like you too. And it was when my parents were really anal about me being in at the right time. So I was like, I've got 15 minutes, I have to be home. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm like 15, and the parents are like, I'll be home by 7.
Mine was the same.
Yeah,
my mum listens to this, but yeah, mine was the same. Yeah.
So I usually would blag it like, oh, I can't get home tonight or whatever, and then go back the following morning.
See, I wasn't even allowed to do that.
Oh, no,
my stepdad was like, I don't give a shit where you are. You need to be home at this time. And I'm like, yeah, but that was like an hour ago. And he's like, I don't care. You should have been home then.
So we got together in June. We had prom coming up, like end of school prom.
Yeah, she went with someone else.
Yeah, but she went with a friend of mine because they were.
She did.
He'd already played, but he'd already paid for the limo. Like the dates were already sorted, so I couldn't be like, "Fuck off, mate. That's my girlfriend."
Yeah.
She paid for a limo, and they were going in a separate group. So, I went with a childhood friend of mine that I'd known like my entire life. And he come and asked me for permission to still take her to prom. And then once they got to prom and did the photos, then he'd disappear. Yeah, fine. He's not spoke to me since. Even now, if I see him walk down the road, he crosses the road. I'm like, come on, bro. I've got 3 kids. Didn't steal your girlfriend.
Yeah, you tried to steal mine.
So yeah, that was we've been together ever since. Been through the thick and the thin. Everything that I've done since I was 15 I've shared it with Liz, and she's supported me through the entire thing, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So, what's this that you actually broke up with Liz at the age of 13?
As if she's told you about this. Okay.
She's told me a lot. So
Oh, great.
I'm good friends with Spring's other half. I don't just text her randomly.
He's not been sneaking in my DMs. All right? Like,
Your wife is in me DMs.
quite literally.
Hey baby, hit me back up later.
So, we were going out. Yeah, when I was about 13, obviously 13 and relationships. Like at the time, they're like big things. When you look back at your 25, you're like, oh, cute, it's 13. But I really fancied this girl that I was in like the army cadets, and I really fancied this girl. And we were going away for 2 weeks, like summer camp.
This one time at band camp.
Literally, yes. We were going away to annual camp, and I really fancied this girl that I'd been talking to a lot. And I text Liz on the bus on the way there.
Oh no!
And I ended it by text message.
No!
On my way to Devon. Yeah. But I don't think of that as a mistake. Okay, I want to make that really clear. Because
He owns it.
Yeah, but had that not have happened, we probably wouldn't be together now. There's a good chance we wouldn't have been. Because I was a very different person at the age of 13. And so was she. You know, a lot happened in those 2 years for both of us.
Yeah, I suppose. But like they always say, things happen for a reason, and obviously they do.
It gets worse. Right, so me and Liz get together, right? It gets worse.
It gets
So during this camp, I find out she's kind of been playing most of the lads, and they've all been having a competition together. I wasn't in on the competition, so I found out secondhand. So that was like ruined my camp. I'm 13 years old. I just dumped my girlfriend for some girl I realised was actually just messing with me and had no intentions of anything happening. Roll on a few years later, me and Liz are now together, and I'm around her house, and her brother walks in with his friend. It's the girl. Like, she was good friends with Lizzie's brothers, and I didn't know who they were. So that was like the first time I saw it. I was like, this is awkward because I feel really stupid. Like, she knew 13-year-old me, and I'm now 16-year-old me in a committed relationship. Kind of.
So then I broke up with Liz again through text.
No. I just because then I knew what was going on, and then I just watched her, doing what she did with most people. I was wise to it by this point, and there was no weirdness in that sense, like relationship weirdness, but it was just like, oh wow, I've gone very red, and I feel extremely stupid because I made a lot of mistakes that day. And
I think we all make mistakes when we're young, though.
You
don't
got
we?
to.
We all
If you don't learn
exactly.
from them, then you don't. If you've never made a mistake, you've not done anything with your life.
Or,
Yeah, true.
If you haven't made a mistake, or you don't think you've made a mistake, then maybe you should start looking back at things and thinking maybe
Yeah, some of those things you did are actually a mistake. I'm sorry, if you think you've not made a mistake ever, yeah, you fucked up. Like, damn straight, you fucked up. Go ask your
You
mother.
stupid. You stupid. So you've got 3 kids? Is that right?
Yes.
2 kids. 3 kids.
3. Yep. We've got
and
Ronan,
they're all
who's 7.
Go on,
Ethan
Karen.
is 3. And Peyton is coming up for 8 months. So 2 boys and a girl.
So they're all relatively young, really, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, I had Ronan when I was 17.
You dog.
Yeah. I was an apprentice on £5 an hour, and that's when, our struggles sort of started in some sense. That there was no way that we weren't gonna make it work as a family unit, but we had to find a way of making it work. I was on £5 an hour trying to support a car and a house and a baby and my partner, and like lots of things had to be done on next to no money on like.
So you have 3. So you have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is more important, or what would you say you were? Hang on, let me rephrase this. Were you prepared for your second child at home, or were you more worried about getting your shoes on?
Right, okay. This sounds really weird. So with baby number 2, we had a home birth because we had a really terrible time with baby number 1 in hospital. And for the expected dads out there, or people that are thinking about having a baby, home births are amazing. Home birth teams are amazing. The home birth midwives are so good. But in any birth, there's nothing for a dad to do. you're in a hospital, you just sit, you just like, oh, squeeze my hand, I'll rub your back, and you're not really doing anything, and you're actually more of a pain in the ass than you are a help, right? And you feel like a spare part because this is the first time as the male in the relationship or the female non-baby carrying partner in the relationship. This is the first time where you're not protecting, supporting, and in control of keeping them safe. You're completely everything's out of your hands. So
you're relying
home
on
birth means
others.
that you get to get involved. You're there. So the office I used to stream in my old house was actually where Ethan was born. So where my camera points to in the old house, that's literally where my son was born. So that room was always very special to me because a lot happened there. I was told if an ambulance needs to be called, we're going to be moving very quickly. Okay, so Liz is giving birth, literally giving birth. The midwife is trying to deliver a baby whilst being on the phone, whilst monitoring stuff on another. This woman was a wizard, like an absolute. I'll never be more grateful to Irene, our midwife. Because she had a Spider Woman. She had so many arms everywhere, doing stuff.
I was waiting for you to say she had a movie on one laptop, she had my stream on the other.
You know what I mean? And she was like, I need to phone an ambulance. So I'm like, she said everything's going to move really quickly because there was what's called meconium in the blood, which is where sometimes in labour, if there's any sort of minor distress or whatever, or and there's some other causes for it as well that slip my mind now, but there can be some fecal matter in the waters. So when baby's coming out, they can see that there's some poo in the water. Effectively, it's quite it happens a lot. But they need to take the baby to hospital to make sure that hasn't been ingested into the lungs. And the breathing's okay. So you go in for like a 6-hour breathing examination, or they just monitor them for 6 hours and make sure there's no rattling or whatever. So I was like, shit, ambulance is coming. So I'm like, fuck. Baby bag ready to go, hospital bag ready to go. Where the fuck's my shoes gone? Because I left them there, right? And my mum and her mum were sitting on the stairs, looking through the banisters, effectively at us down, basically opposite the stairs. And they're like, "Will you just get back in there because you're going to miss the birth of your bloody child?" And I'm like, "Right,
where are my shoes?"
So to me, it wasn't a big thing. I was just like looking for my shoes, like where's my keys, where's my phone kind of situation. And I wasn't missing any. As far as I'm concerned, I wasn't missing anything because I had one eye on the baby the whole time. But
that's why he couldn't find his shoes.
Yeah. So I've been abused for that ever since. They never let me live it down. When we had our last baby, they're like, "You do not take your shoes off. When you get to that house, do not take your shoes off because if you miss something, because you need your shoes."
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Another life lesson.
Yeah.
But imagine that being a life lesson. Don't take your shoes off.
Yeah, during a labour, do not take your shoes off.
Yeah.
Right? Keep your keys in your pocket.
Should be a giant sign.
Yeah. In fact, to make it easier, just have one foot outside the door, but keep most of your body inside the door, because otherwise they think you're running away.
Which you are, but you don't want them to know that.
Yeah, I was trying to be organised because I'd prepped this room. Like I'd put absorbent mats down on the floor. There was an airbed in there. Heating was whacked up in there. The plug sockets were all available. It was all sterilised, and I did that because it was home birth, so I could. So I made a sterilised birthing room, which you can't do that in a hospital. So while you're standing there like a lemming in a hospital, just trying not to get in the fucking way, I'm at home. Liz was playing cards 45 minutes before she gave birth, sitting at the kitchen table.
That's crazy, isn't it?
She's incredible when it comes to labour.
That is crazy. Yeah. So you had your second at home, and your youngest you had in the hospital, did you?
Yes, so we were very open. We planned to have her at home, but Liz really wanted a water birth this time, and we'd planned to have it with baby number 2, but financial things got in the way. We couldn't hire the pool, because you could have a water birth at home. You basically just hire a pool, a special birthing pool, and everything's done at home. But it's expensive, and it's not. It is if you've got no money, right? It's a luxury. So we planned to have it in the hospital, and Liz was like, yeah, there was a few minor complications during the pregnancy. They thought that Peyton wasn't growing, was growing far too fast, so they would, or too small. She was too small, so they thought she was growing not enough, which meant that there could have been complications during the labor. So anything that you do at home, and for any expected parents out there, again, this is one thing that we've said when we've gone to have, like we've been invited back to not promotional events with the midwives, but expected parents. We've been asked to come in and chat to them, and it's because we say things like, you are in control of your pregnancy. It's your pregnancy. You are the delivering parent. It's your pregnancy. You do what you want to do. Just make sure the decisions you like, ask the questions, get the information you need to make your informed decision. Do not be, and it will be consultants that are going to push you around, right? And they're going to say, like, they turn around to Liz once and was like, if you have a home birth, then your baby's going to die. What? No.
I don't think you're meant to be saying those sort of things to a pregnant woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and I'm a bus driver.
like, exactly. So don't let them push you around. Be firm, but get the information you need. But be firm. And if you're unsure, speak to your midwife, because your midwife is going to do what's right for you. And that's something that we've learned. And we decided this time, the risks seemed, it was something we had all the information. We were umming and ahhing, and we decided we're going to have a hospital birth this time, which during COVID was not easy. I mean, it's the tail end of COVID, but still,
because
I couldn't be there for a lot of the time. I didn't miss anything, but I wasn't allowed to stay in. We had our own room, but I wasn't allowed to stay there all night or anything like that. So it was a lot of going home and waiting and lead pedaling it all the way there. Like,
I mean, I want children, but it does terrify me.
you're never going to be ready for children. Anyone that says we're waiting for the right time, there's bad times, but there's no good time to have kids. And if you wait to have kids, or you wait till you're in a good financial position to have kids, right, you could win the lottery, you still won't think you're in the right financial position because you want to go and spend that money and enjoy life. And like, your life doesn't end when you have kids, right? And you're never going to be ready for it. Just don't do it with some bird you've known for 3 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to make sure it's the right decision.
How dare you tell me what I can and can't do?
If you're in a committed relationship and it's something you thought about, don't let how are we going to afford it be the deciding factor. Okay, if you're struggling to eat every day, maybe bringing a baby into the world isn't the most responsible thing in the world to do. If it means you've got to, think, we should really cut back on having 2 takeaways a week just to make us, 1, more healthier, and 2, that's extra funds. Babies are expensive before they get here. Once they're here, they're relatively cheap, and then they get expensive again when they get older.
Kebab, baby, kebab, baby. I don't know which.
Chili sauce. Thank you very much.
You can keep your baby. I don't want it.
They're amazing though, and it changes your outlook on life. It doesn't end your life; it just changes it.
That's a good way of like putting it, because some people.
My partner's cousin was saying before we had a baby about what am I gonna? I won't be able to play golf anymore. Like, dude, your life doesn't end, right? You don't just become a dad, go to work, come home, lock doors, sleep, get puked on, screaming, poop everywhere. Like, that's not how your life is now. Like, your life is what you make it. If you allow that to happen, then fuck your golf. You're never playing that again. But if you make time for a baby mama to go out and do her thing once a month, and you go and do your day out once a month, there's no reason why you can't still play golf on that day out.
Yeah.
Just don't be doing it every fucking weekend. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
Gotta be, there's got to be some give and take, and I'd admit I'm much better at taking than I am giving. But I'm always here. Hilarious.
Oh yeah.
What's that? Fucking rolling pin.
It was just how you said it.
But yeah, I'm much better at being. I'm quite.
He's trying to change it now.
But no, I can be quite. Like, I'm not aware of how much attention I put into myself and what I'm doing and where my mind is and how invested I am in content creation or the project I'm working on. And that's why my hiatus was good, because it taught me that, hang on a minute, dude, you've been neglecting family for a long time.
Yeah.
You've missed stuff. I missed enough of my first through my depression. I don't remember 18 months of my life at all, because I was off my face on antidepressant pills that I got off of because I didn't like that feeling no more. You know, and I wasn't addicted. They made me feel like a zombie. So, you know, and I realized, hang on a minute, you're fucking doing it again, son. Like, what are you doing? But instead of it being antidepressant pills and you just staring into space all fucking day because you feel like a zombie, working stupid hours, your focus has changed. You're now burying yourself into YouTube and watching Twitch and gaming all the time and trying to be the best at something.
You need to find a good balance.
Yeah, which is why I stream in the evenings now. I changed from doing 5 streams a week in 4 days to doing 4 streams a week across 4 evenings, because my partner finishes at 4 now, and I don't start my stream till 8. So we have 4 hours of family time every day, which I never had before, because she was working till 6. I was starting my stream at 8. And 2 days a week, my son was at preschool, so I used to stream in the day and then in the evening, Wednesdays. So we never had time in the evenings because I was streaming all the fucking time. When I wasn't streaming, I was trying to make content. And then there was no family time. So yeah.
And given that time for yourself too improves yourself also. So you'll be so much more happier on stream and stuff.
Yeah, I read a book. I haven't read a book in years. I had no internet and no TV. So I read a book and I spent time with my kids. Like, instead of sitting down in the evening and watching Twitch, we used to go and sit in the living room and chat and read a book and socialize together.
Yeah.
Like, those of you that are making content, like in the audience and stuff, socializing and networking isn't just on Twitch, isn't just on Twitter, on Instagram. It's at home too, because if you don't communicate with those that are supporting you, one day they're going to stop supporting you. So be grateful for who is supporting you. And Liz has put up with incredible amounts and has always, now, you know, she understands it now more than ever. But when I saw it as a job, she saw it as the thing that took me away from the family. But she still supported me, knowing that I would work it out for myself one day. And I did. So not everybody has that rock to help them with that. So don't throw it away. It's
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
That's
some really good advice, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I wasn't
Wise
expecting
man.
that, to
Very
be fair.
wise man.
Sort of knocked me off a little bit, but yeah, I don't know what to say.
I think about it a lot. All right, I have to. Liz doesn't get enough credit for what she does on the family side and what she does on the support side. She's always there in the background, behind the scenes, and I have taken that for granted many times, and I had to make sure that stopped. And last week she was like, "Dude, you're doing it again. I got home from work. You went and sat by your computer. I haven't seen you today." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I need to check myself." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it slips, but the more regimented, I'm really bad with sticking stuff and being regimented, right? I'm so bad. I'm good and bad at the same time, right? Okay, so I can be really regimented if it's something I enjoy, which is why I thought about, you know, do I have something like autism or Asperger's or something like that? Because when I'm fixated on the specific project, it doesn't stop. Like, from the minute I open my eyes in the morning to the next day I open my eyes, because I haven't stopped thinking about it while I'm asleep. You know what I mean? I'm totally wired in it. And I put thousands of hours into it. I've got 1,600 hours in Tarkov. I've got probably another 2,000 hours of learning content. I've got, you know what I mean? I've spent days in watch time on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, where I'm focused on learning stuff. I listen to 10 podcasts a week in my 3-day shift. Like, your guys' podcast has become part of that in the last week or so, when I became aware of it. You know, and I've been listening to your back catalogue, but I listen to content when I'm at work and I'm busy doing my job and I'm driving to and from work. I'm learning about Twitch. I'm learning about YouTube, because all these podcasts are about Twitch and YouTube and Tarkov and podcasts and learning. And the best tool you can give yourself is learning. So and being part of. I've been planning the podcast for 2 years. Not one episode has been created. I've done an overlay, right, and that's as far as we've got because it's just never had the time to sort of sit down and do it.
If I can,
So it's been
if
a
I
cool
can give
experience
anyone,
for me to get on your podcast and
I mean, well, we appreciate you
show the
coming
ropes
on,
to an
and,
extent.
Oh yeah,
and
big time,
we
big
appreciate
time,
you
yeah.
listening to us because, you know, even though it tells us how many people are listening, doesn't
Yeah.
tell us how many people have actually listened from start to finish.
Yeah, you hear what they're listening, but you don't know if they've heard you.
Yeah,
As
basically.
well.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? They've
yeah.
listened, but have they heard? You know, and you'll get that from me, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. You know what I mean? I'm not going to,
No, of course not.
because I know what it's like. You're never going
We-
to learn from learning.
We
nothing.
accept criticism, or constructive criticism. You know, I've got a friend
100%.
Peter.
There's no, don't need
he
to be
always
rude
does
about it. There's like criticize where criticism is due because you want to support that person. Supporting somebody, like supporting this podcast, like for the audience. If you want to support these guys, listen and share this podcast. And if there's something you thought, you know, there's this one thing that I don't really like. You know what I mean? Don't turn around and go, "This is shit." Like, boys, fucking stop this. You're shit.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to do, right? Just message these boys, right, and say like, "Look, I love the podcast. I really enjoy the episodes, because they are great so far. Everything I've heard, I've listened to like 3 of the 7 episodes.
thank
This
you,
will be
mate.
the 7th.
Yeah.
But like 3 of the 6 episodes that are out so far, I've had time to listen to, and they're great podcasts. You've got a great structure going on, and you're flowing really nicely, right? And if there's things that I think you can improve on, don't turn around to them and go, "Look, boys, you're fucking shit. Just, I love this. I like this about this episode." But is there a chance that maybe you could look into this?
Yeah, definitely. Tell us what we
Approach
can.
it like that. Don't be. The fucking podcast is shit. I'm never listening to it again because a dog barked once. Like, you know what I mean?
The thing is, though, we will have
Shit.
people that are like, "Oh, do you know, that wasn't for me," and that's absolutely fine.
100%. Yeah.
But if there is anything, if you don't like listen to it, that's fine. We're not going to force you to do that. But if you could tell us what we could do to make it better, or what you think would make you
Like
want
you
to
guys
listen
said
to
to
it more,
Chris last week, now's the time. Like, you guys are trying new stuff. Now's the time to do it.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you guys are looking into like a studio type thing I know about, and like microphones that you were speaking about as well. By the way, not sponsored, but this Rode podcast is amazing. I actually really love it for the price point. It's incredible.
Use code SPRING for 10% off.
No, don't. There isn't a code, right? There isn't a code. But yeah, and these are all things. You're doing it right. You didn't buy this first. I did it the other way around. All right. I didn't want to stream until I knew how everything worked. I had the best equipment I could buy, like with the money that I had. And you guys are doing well. So you're doing it the right way around. You're learning. You're evolving, and let it happen as it happens. You know what I mean? Don't force yourselves to do it. And for the audience, if you've got anything you want to see or hear, or subjects you want to cover, let them know. Because they ain't going to know if you don't tell them. You know what I mean? If there's content you want, let them know.
100%.
These boys want to make it.
Yeah, we do.
definitely. But going back to you said you've been planning a podcast. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, and the best advice I can give you is literally just
do it.
fucking do it, because you do sit on it for a long time and you do think, "Oh,
It's the
how
second
can I
one
do
I've
this?"
planned. Like, and it still hasn't happened.
You
And
have
with a
just got to
different
do it.
co-host. You know what I mean? I have just got to do it now.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I like listening to podcasts. I mean, I even listen to our own podcast, even though I know what we talk about.
best thing
I still listen
best
to
thing
it.
you can do, because you
I
learn.
do too.
Be self-critical. Just don't be self-punishing.
100%. I'm pretty bad for that, because I'll say to Matt something like, the last, I think it was the conspiracy theories one we did. It was the one before Welchie, I
Episode 2.
think. Was no.
No, you spoke about it in episode 2. You wanted to do a dedicated one. I haven't listened to the actual dedicated one yet. but
Yes. So we did that basically on a bit of a whim, because we were meant to have someone on, but they're from the US and they got their times mixed up a little bit, which is fine.
It happens.
So we literally planned an episode within 30 minutes, and I wasn't very happy with it. And I said to Matt, "I'm not sure how that went." And Matt was like, "I thought it was really good." And then when I actually listened to it back, I was like, "Oh, it's not actually as bad as I thought."
Yeah, and you thought it was bad because you were stressed going into it.
Yeah.
Which was understandable. Like, and especially if you've had like audio problems. I know you said in the last episode that you had net problems.
Constant.
Yeah.
These are unavoidable. Like Chris said, they are unavoidable.
Mm.
You can only control what you can control.
Yeah.
Right? And the things that you can control, master.
Yeah.
Not
100%.
perfect, master them.
Mm.
Masters still learn. You see what I mean?
That's true. That is that is very true.
100%. Like, it's possible. You
It's,
guys can do it. You're doing a cracking job.
Well, thank you very much. God, stop it, you making me blush.
I'll make him try.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we all had a beer each. We also found out that Spring likes a finger from the
Bishop's finger is very
Bishop.
good, right?
He likes a finger from the bishop.
Yeah, every Friday.
Speaking of fingers, this actually wasn't.
Oh no, where's this going? Where's this going?
I didn't do this on purpose. This just
Could be one of a couple
accidentally.
of things.
This accidentally this accidentally sort of tied in together. It's not about a finger, it's about a thumb. So have you ever you know where I'm going, don't you? You know exactly what I'm gonna say.
Smash on mod, Miss Spring. All right, it's not happening no more.
Have you ever broken a finger or a thumb, Spring?
No, not broken. I severely dislocated one though, to the point where if I held my hand out in front of me, my thumb was pointing back this way at me. Yeah.
And how did you do that?
2 weeks in a full arm cast to prepare that,
No.
and about a year of physio. Yeah.
How did you do it?
Training exercise with the cadet force.
Oh, okay. Now I got told something different.
You may have been, yeah.
I got told something different.
Okay, so lads will be lads, 14 years old. We've been on a 3-day exercise with the cadets. So I haven't showered or anything in 3 days. We're all messing around. We had a really tight group of lads because we were in the senior cadre. So we were learning some of the slightly more advanced stuff. So obviously there's less of us. Really great
I was in
group.
the Army Cadets.
Yeah, so I was in the 3 and 4 star cadre on this camp, and we'd spent 2 weeks really getting to know each other because I don't know if you know, like an annual camp, you get to know people from outside of your area of the county. So there's normally 4 companies per county.
Yeah.
So we were C company, and I got to know some really good lads from like A and B and C, A, B and D.
Were you
companies.
Were you in Hampshire and Isle of Wight?
No, I was at Essex.
Oh yeah, of course you were. Of course you were. I keep forgetting you're not near us.
No.
Sorry,
So,
carry on.
Yeah, we're on the coach on the way back. We're just reversing into the compounds. During this time, this whole 2 weeks, we're coming to the end of it anyway. There'd been, you know, like the trigger joke where you trigger somebody, you poke their backside with your finger when they're least expecting to make them jump.
Oh yeah.
So we're on the
This
coach,
is-
and this guy,
this is the one.
well, his first. We're just going to keep it as Jamie, right? But this guy, Jamie.
It's not me,
everybody,
by
at
the
most-
way.
No, it's not you. At the
was.
most inconvenient times, this guy would do it. Like you'll be carrying your food back to your table in the naffy or in the mess or whatever.
Yeah.
So nobody could get him though, like because he always makes sure nobody could get him back. So I fucking see this golden opportunity, right? He is legit. He's leaning over the back of a chair like this. playing with somebody's beret the other side, and I'm sitting next to him, and I was like, "Fucking right, I'm getting this motherfucker." As I went to like poke him, my thumb missed him altogether. He came down. It went through his belt loop on the back, and he sat down. My hand is now behind him here, so I just pull it out, thinking nothing of it, and my thumb's in his belt loop, so it just went pop, and it literally just went pop, and it was facing back towards me. If you look at the cartilage of the thumb, it should look like this, whereas mine actually looked like it was down here somewhere. It was like completely, if I held my hand out in front of me, it literally, it's messed up.
Oh no!
So I had to get to A&E. I was actually in and out of hospital in less than an hour and a half, and I had 2 X-rays and a cast put on because I was all fully camoed up. I had full cam cream, full combats. I was rushed there in a minibus, and we got priority because of our age and we're cadets, and there's a big training area anyway, so military personnel get priority, and we were just classed as that at this occasion. So yeah, 2 weeks in a cast. The lads had loads of fun. I have the cast somewhere still, and there's things written on it like thumbs up bums, And like, the boys had a right laugh with it. So I've kept it because of that. But yeah, don't sit around on coaches, boys. It hurts. If you're gonna aim right, yeah, don't miss the hole.
Life lesson number 3. Don't miss the hole.
Yeah, bad things happen.
So we've spoken quite a lot about, you know, Twitch, your family, you sticking your thumb up your friends' bums.
He was fully
Liz,
clothed. I need to point that out. He was fully clothed. Okay.
she's lying there in the shower.
Yeah.
Liz has given me quite a lot of stories, but there are some I think we'll just leave there. I do want to talk about your job because I don't think we have actually spoken about it yet.
Yeah.
So you're a machinist. I can't remember what you said
I'm a
now.
CNC machinist for the Alpine Formula One team. So I'm factory based. I don't travel with a racing team. There is actually a hell of a lot of people that don't travel with a racing team that you don't see because we're not on TV. You see occasionally on like the Netflix Drive to Survive series, which is really good. Gives people
I haven't watched that yet. Really want to.
But it's fantastic. Do watch it. It's very good because you see a completely different side to Formula One. I wanted to get into Formula One for a long time. I really wanted to work for the Williams Formula One team because they meant a lot to my dad. They meant a lot to me. They were like, you know, a heritage Formula One team, and they had good values, and they weren't the most competitive at the time. This is about early 2017, 2016 or whatever, early 2016. So I applied there once and never heard anything back because I was just some lad. I didn't have the skills I needed to be in Formula One, right? And like I was just some lad from Essex. I was never going to get a job in Formula One. So I forgot about it, you know. Yeah, you know, I shot my shot, and end of the day, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So what I did then is I dedicated my career to learning what I needed to learn. I didn't go to uni or anything like that, so I did an apprenticeship, and then I looked at a company and thought they are doing something I don't know how to do yet. Let's try and get a job there. So I would go in, impress them with the interview, wouldn't lie about my capabilities, but would show I was keen and willing to learn and that I could learn very quickly. So I'd go in on a relatively crap pay, I'd learn, and then I'd be like, right, I've mastered everything. I've done everything you can chuck at me. What's next? We haven't got anything next. Okay, I want top rate now because I'm doing everything the top rate boys are doing and more. I can't afford to pay you anymore. Okay, no problems. Boom. Next company. They can teach you something more. So I just kind of, it was quite a bad thing to do if it hadn't worked out for me in the end. But I used and abused companies to get what I needed. I learned skills that I didn't learn in my apprenticeship, and I mastered them very quickly. And I dedicated every moment of every day, like I do with my content now, but to my career to build that. So I was working like. One of the jobs I had is they wanted to teach me 5-axis machining, which is where the parts rotate in multiple directions, not just left, right, up, and down, but they also rotate in 2 different directions as well, all at the same time. It's very complicated to look at. Looks cool as fuck, but yeah, it's new. It was new to me, and I wanted to learn it. So this company were willing to teach me.
Go on, sorry, carry on.
They wanted to teach me. I knew I needed 5-axis to get into Formula One. I went there. I was training people that were on £4 or £5 an hour less than me. They refused to pay me anymore. And then I get a phone call one day from a recruiter saying, I've been contacted by the Williams Formula One team. They would like to interview you for a contractor role. And I was like,
no way.
no, fuck up. Who is this? All right.
This is a prank call.
Who
the fuck is that guy?
So I just literally started at this new job that week. So I feel kind of bad. What the fuck do I do here? Like, I just got a new job. I'm getting paid more than I have done before. And there's opportunities for me here. So I won't say anything for now. I booked the following Friday off. My car broke down that week. So I had to contact my uncle, who I speak to once a year at best. I was like, is there a chance you can drive me to Oxford from Southend, please? And like, take me to this job interview. You can't do anything when you're there. You just got to sit in the car outside and drive me home again. And he did it. I gave him like 20 quid fuel money. He didn't want it, but I gave it to him because I was grateful. And I turned up to the Williams Formula One facility in Grove, Oxfordshire, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, the fuck's going on? Like, this is amazing. And this is the fucking Williams Formula One team, boy. And I'm sitting there like, what do I do? And I go in reception, and they had Felipe Massa's FW36 or 37 in there, or whatever it was at the time. I've even been new at that. FW40 was their chassis number. All the Martini colours on it, and I was like, this is a real fucking... I'd never seen a real Formula One car. I'd never been to an event before. I watched it on TV, and I followed it as much as I could. And yeah, the guy that interviewed me, Neil, he saw what I was offering, and he saw what potential I could possibly have, and he was willing to give me the chance. And normally they don't get back to you for 2 or 3 days afterwards, right? And those do their job, especially for contractor roles. You don't hear anything for a few days. They interview a few more candidates, kind of thing. But yeah, we're walking round. Frank Williams appears out of nowhere, right? In his wheelchair with his carer, and I'm like. So for those of you who don't know, Sir Frank Williams, the late Sir Frank Williams, who sadly passed last year, he was the owner of the Williams Formula One team. He is Williams, and one of my biggest idols. And he's there in front of me asking me how I am. I'm like, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Yeah, that must have been an amazing feeling.
Yeah, incredible.
And a great achievement too. Like
yeah,
that,
I was grateful
amazing.
to get the interview. I was like, if I don't get anything else, I've been inside an F1 factory, and how many fuckers done that? Yeah, all them people that say I'll never make anything of my life, and I'm like, well, I've been to a factory. Yeah, so I left. Felt relatively positive. I was 40 minutes down the road, and I get a phone call from the agency to say, Neil from Williams has just phoned me. He wants you to start as soon as possible. I was like, okay. I live in Southend, so I need to work out where I'm going to live, if I'm going to travel every day, or where I'm going to stay in digs. And I almost turned it down based on the fact that our landlord at the time was kicking us out because he wanted his house back. We had nowhere to live, no money. And I had to try and pay for digs that were like £350 a month and try and put some of my family somewhere. And we were homeless. I was like, what the fuck do I do? So I said to Lizzie, it's not worth it. I'm turning it down. Formula One, it's not happening. I need to be here with my family. She forced me to see sense and said, you're doing this. Off you go. We'll sort you out some digs. We'll find an Airbnb. We'll do something. So I stayed there during the week and came home at the weekends. For 6 months, and that was tough because my Liz and my oldest son Ronan lived on my parents' living room floor for 6 months to allow me to do this. And then, I applied at Red Bull, and I ended up going there, and I was there for a little bit as a permanent. Things didn't work out. Some things changed quite quickly there that took me by surprise. How do I? Basically. I fell out with somebody unintentionally, and the next thing you know, I was recommended by a couple of people I worked with, 2 guys at what was the Renault F1 team. I almost quit Formula One altogether because my confidence was knocked, and I didn't want to be in the sport anymore. I didn't believe in it anymore. I'd fallen totally out of love with the sport, the teams, the lot, and the money, because my wages doubled overnight when I went to Williams. Like, literally doubled. And I didn't know what to do with myself financially anymore. And I'd moved to Bedford to work with Red Bull. So a lot changed. I uprooted my family for that. So it knocked me, and I signed my contract to be permanent member of staff at the Renault F1 team on the same day as Daniel Ricciardo did exactly the same thing, which is kind of weird because he was at Red Bull and went to Renault, and I did exactly the same thing.
It's because he heard you were doing
exactly.
it.
He followed me all the way. All the way. He said, he's going, I'm going. Right.
I don't know if you know, but he actually lives outside your house. Like, he's looking through your window.
Cleans my shoes.
Yeah.
No. Daniel's
he walks past me. He's like, I don't speak to
Daniel's
you, peasant.
a legit nice guy as well. Like, incredible guy. So I've been at Renault, that then became the Renault DP World F1 team, to what's now Alpine, because we're trying to push the sales for the Alpine A110, which is an incredibly cool car. Definitely go and check that out. And I've been there for 4 years, and working in a big high profile company, and anyone that listens to this that works for a company like Google or Apple, or these big global companies, you start to not think about the fact that you're walking into a Formula One team, and it becomes more of a job, but it's a job that is involved in your passion. So that's cool. I get to share that with my family, and I get to be proud of my achievements in other ways. I don't get the whole shaky knees when I walk into the factory after 5 years of being in the sport. I'm grateful every day that I am in doing something that this little lad from Essex was never meant to be there. Like that was never going to happen to 14-year-old Spring that thought he was going in the army. And roll on 10 years and I'm 4 years deep into a Formula One career. Like,
it's crazy how times
amazing.
change, though, isn't it? Like,
But
there's no point.
Nothing has been handed to us. I've worked really, really hard, and it just goes to show it is possible, but you do have to work. You have to dedicate yourself to it.
Yeah.
Like, those that get things handed to them don't appreciate it. Like, having the career I have means the world to me and my family.
Yeah.
And a lot of sacrifices were made to put me here.
That must
100%.
It must have been tough for your other half and
She put
little
her career
ones,
on hold.
but it's
6 months. Basically, 6 months away was horrible. Horrible. Sitting on your own every night, waiting to go back to work again the next morning.
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
That is what it's like when you work away from home. It is not. And the race team, this is an expression that I've heard race team members say before at Williams, and I've heard one say it as well at Alpine. The race team as well is not all champagne and blowjobs. That is not. They work fucking hard at that track. They're like a 26-hour workday on a Sunday. Because when they finish the race, they don't just go to bed or go to the pub. They pack the entire garage down. Every bit of cable, every bolt, every sticker, it all gets packed down. The cars don't travel as a solid piece. They're broken down into the chassis and the suspension sets and the gearbox, but they can't start the car until it comes back from Parc Fermé after it's been inspected. So half the garage gets dropped down. It all has to be packed into flight cases and, off to the next event sometimes. Them guys work incredibly hard.
I don't doubt.
And we all do as a team. It's not an easy environment to be in. It's strange. It's different to production. It's different to aerospace. I started out making pilot seats for a living. I was a machinist making pilot seats for Boeing. Well, we supplied Boeing. We were the sole supplier of Boeing, and that was an incredible apprenticeship, as it was. But yeah, it's this Formula One works differently to any other manufacturing company that any of yourselves or your listeners have worked in before. It's very different, but it's fast paced. It's got to be right. You got to have the skills. You can't blag your way in. And hope that you're doing. Like, you have to be good, and that I can rely on the team that are around me we can overcome the problems, and we get there in our department, and that then extends throughout the whole team. It's tough.
I think it just goes to show that you can come from anything and make whatever you want for yourself. I think that's really important.
100%.
Before we finish up, there's one thing I did want to. One question I want to ask you, and that is, have you driven an F1 car?
No. An F1 car is an incredibly difficult machine to operate.
Is it not as simple as just getting in and pushing the pedal and going?
The steering wheel has something like 260 functions on the steering wheel alone. So that day when you can't find where you miss your indicator, you're like, oh fuck, and you're on a roundabout and you slip a gear. Well, imagine having to, like, a driver is driving along and he's moving his brake bias forwards and backwards. So that's how much of the brake pressure is applied to the front or rear of the car. He's adjusting how tight his diff is. He's adjusting, you know what I mean, like engine modes. He's adjusting, battery recovery. And he's doing this at 320 kilometers an hour. And he's with his thumbs and he's driving. And everything's whizzing past his head like this. He's got a halo in front of him, right? And with the new cars, I don't know how much they're doing it at the moment, but they used to porpoise when this new regulation car came out, the 2022 car. they took away a lot of the aero, and a lot of it's now is rather than downforce, it's ground effect, which means there's tunnels underneath the car which suck the car to the ground by creating a like a positive pressure, and then the diffuser then
It just goes
helps
to
it
show
stick.
how.
So you're driving down the road like this at 320 kilometers an hour, pressing buttons, and you can't really see much. And then you got a brake, and you've got to hit your braking point within about 2 meters at 320 kilometers an hour, and you're bang. It's like driving into a brick wall, going down to 80 miles an hour, and banking at 5G. Like Formula One cars don't drive slow. You drive a Formula One car too slow, it overheats and it stops working. If your tires aren't hot enough, it's like driving on ice. If your tires are too hot, they degrade too quickly and you're out of the race. Like, you don't get to drive a multi-million-pound machine. Just like, can I have a go? I've seen them. They're tight. They're tight. Formula One drivers are not big guys. Formula One drivers have two things that are really massive as far as I'm concerned. They've got big bollocks and huge necks. Because their necks have got to keep their head attached to their body, and their bollocks are like how fucking fast they're going. And you know, they train, they strap shit to their heads, and their trader's trying to pull their fucking head off, and it's like, like Lando Norris. It's look at his neck; it's wider than my beard. Because when you're pulling 4G, for those of you who don't know, 4G is 4 times the weight of your, like, you're pulling 4G and your head weighs 3 kilos or 5 kilos, say. That's the 20 kilo lump you've got on the top of your shoulders. It's 4 times your body weight. So when you're pulling 4G, your head's 4 times heavier than it should be, and the car's trying to rip it off. Which is why the safety systems are so important, and the hands device, and training and fitness, and I couldn't put enough pressure on a brake pedal to stop a Formula One car at half speed.
I honestly, it just goes to show how, like, I don't watch Formula One. I don't watch racing, but I genuinely thought they get in. It's literally an automatic car. They push a pedal to accelerate, push a pedal to brake.
As far as I'm aware, I know it's definitely 8-speed. The gearboxes are 8-speed, but it's a fully sequential gearbox with no delay. So when you there is a clutch to go from neutral to first, and then you don't touch the clutch again for the rest of the time. I believe the gearbox is work in a way, because I don't work in gearbox, but they work in a way that all the gears are running at the same time, which is why you don't get that delay. So do you remember, you go back to when sequential gearboxes were first brought in, like the mid to late 90s? You'd hear them, they go, and you get that. Well, basically what that was, well, for a driver, is like being slapped in the back of the head with a fucking club. Like, it's like, that's what your head's doing. Like, literally, that's why their necks have to be so strong. These gearboxes don't do that, because in that, as your head's doing that, it's doing it because there's a slight loss of power. These cars don't do that anymore. It's just constant. It's constant. Right. All you're hearing is a rev change. There's no loss in power, because a loss in power is a loss of time, and a loss of time is
losing the race.
Lose points. You know what I mean? Like, we work in thousands of a second. Well, the team works in thousands of a second, which is like, a 1/10 of a second, 0.1 of a second is a year for us. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't even count that high.
My son sat in a Formula One car at Goodwood Festival Speed. That's one of the big things.
Bro, next time you come to Goodwood, you need to let us know, because we literally live around the corner from it. Like, literally, I'm about 15 minutes away.
You go to Goodwood, I can probably get us in the garage, maybe. I did it last time.
I
pushed through people to get to the thing, and I saw the support team, and I was like, I took my badge with me just in case, right?
Yeah.
Now it is. And I said to the lads, I was like, is there a chance I can, like, get behind the curtain? You know what I mean? To come the other side of the barrier, because there's fucking 200 people trying to take pictures here, and I had like 10 minutes to get here. And they were like, why don't you just walk straight in the back door? I didn't fucking know that, did I? So in we go, and they started the car up and played the national anthem with the revs. Ricardo had just got out and had just left. And my son was allowed to sit in the show car at the Goodwood Festival Speed, with it up on the jacks and the wheels off and the engine covers off, and he's sitting there.
That's crazy.
And they're the moments for me that real nail it home to, bring it home and say, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, I did this for my kids. They've got something to talk about. They can be proud of me. And I get to share these little moments with them, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But definitely, let us know, because we both live around
Yeah.
the corner from it.
Yep.
I mean,
If I
it's
get
that
lost-
close that when I'm on the buses, we actually do the buses for Goodwood.
Oh, really?
That
Yeah,
we're so
I've been there
close.
once. I'd like to go again. I was meant to be going to Silverstone this year, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing. If I can swap my holiday around and I end up at Goodwood this year, and I'll hit you up. For sure.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've already said to you, whenever you come down for your holiday, Matt will definitely have to come along. We'll go for a pint or something.
Yeah.
We're going to have a few beers.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Have a few beers.
Before we completely finish up, there is one more thing I do want to say, and it is a little, it's a little bit of a message from your other half.
Oh God, this is either going to be great or bad. I'm either going to love this or I'm going to not like this.
She said she thinks it's quite nice to see how far you've come over the, from the last 8 years ago to now. That you should be so proud of the person and the dad you are. She's completely proud of you. She says that you're an amazing and fantastic support for herself and the kids, and she wouldn't be where she is today without you. She also said it's a bit soppy, and she would like you to buy.
Yeah.
She said she would like you to buy her more flowers. It doesn't take much, does it?
No, that's something I lack on. But I said quite a few times that Liz has been my support, and that's that proves it. Messages like that, that's what keeps me going in my darkest moments. So I appreciate it. I love it.
Look at that.
And,
I thought we'd finish on that.
Trying to kill me, right? I've done so well. I haven't cried once.
Liz, we failed.
No.
You got to send me something soppier. Come on.
No. But no.
Mission
no,
failed. We'll get him next time.
That's the rock that I have behind me. I'm extremely fortunate to have that. Yeah, that's lovely. Lovely to hear. I mean, I hear it a lot. I'm lucky to hear it a lot. I hear it way more than she receives flowers. So looks like I'm off.
Guess where he's going tomorrow.
I'll be back in a minute. Where's the,
Yeah.
where's the fucking petrol station that's still open or something like that.
Oh, rule number 1: never buy petrol station flowers. Never.
No. When I buy flowers, I like to buy flowers that are nice and expensive. I just can't do it all the time. I don't like buying like your £5 set from your local Londis. Like,
Get them delivered and all that.
I don't spend like £300 on flowers. I'm not saying like I'm stacking it. Like, it's like, I like to make an occasion of it. So
You shouldn't have said that
because
because she's going to want £300 worth now.
no, she knows that ain't happening.
She knows.
She knows.
So, obviously, we normally say about an hour, but it's been an hour and a half because we've spoken about so much. No, don't be sorry.
All right. No.
I kept you going.
I've just looked at the time and thought, shit, it's been a lot longer than we said to you because I know that you wanted to sort of chill out. But thank you for your time, of
I'll be going
course.
to bed soon, it's fine.
You just go to sleep here, mate. We'll finish up.
Well, no, I get up at like 4:30 for work, so it's
that's
no, it's definitely. I've really enjoyed it. You guys are smashing it.
Thank you very much.
I hope the podcast continues to grow and continues to get the reach it deserves. You guys are evolving all the time. Keep at it, and maybe we come back again another time.
Yeah,
And,
I was going to say, hopefully we can get you on again.
Of you guys,
Definitely.
not me. Don't fuck me. Right? I want to see your development. I want to come back and see you guys, and see your growth. So.
I haven't cried on this podcast, and I'm not going to cry now. Nice try.
We tried. We tried.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time. But yeah, as always, thank you to everyone that's listening. Matt, thank you for being here. I know 90% of the time you don't talk much because I tend to jump in. So I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it, mate.
But Spring, thank you, mate. Can't wait to see you in
thank
Russia.
Yeah, mate. I'll see you in the Tarkovs.
We have got I keep saying we got a banger next week, but next week I'm not sure when this person's coming on. But we have got our first semi-famous person coming on the podcast. No offense, Spring, you haven't quite got that far.
Wow. So you had Chris last week, right? Semi-famous Chris, right? You're semi-famous Spring this week, and now you're up in the ante again. What are you doing to us?
Okay, let me tell you, right? This guy that's come on has 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it's huge. It's
Putting
quite
the work
big.
in. Putting the work in.
But look, I don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully soon. We're still discussing it. I actually knew him when he first started his YouTube channel, so that's why I managed to get in there, you know. But I'm waffling, so let's finish up.
Tune in for that, yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening. We can't wait to see you next week. Matt, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just what's your best bit of advice on life you can give the viewers?
Oh, like a really quick bit of advice.
Yeah.
You don't get nothing for free. Work your ass off. All right, stop waiting for handouts. It ain't fucking coming. All right, that's not the way the world works. Shit's getting real hard right now in the UK. So yeah, you got to think smart, think quick, be first, and yeah.
I honestly thought you were about to say, you don't get shit for free. I ain't fucking telling you.
yeah.
I honestly thought.
You should prize motherfuckers. I'll give you all the advice you want.
Right, guys.
Yeah, drop your cocks and grab your socks and get your shit done and work on it. Otherwise, that ain't happening, all right? Legit, it's really not. Yeah, and find yourself a good support structure, mentally, physically, and romantically.
On that note, before we get into some sort of romantic talk about things, we will see you next week, guys. Cheers again, Spring.
No problems. Have a great one, guys.
See you guys.